It's the mayor. Yeah, you know I be checking my game, clocking my grill, talking shit, swallowing spit. Been doing this since I was ankle low to a centipede, toe about knee high to a flea eye. Hey JB, I'ma do this whole song with my pinky finger in the air, nigga.
Checking my game, clocking my grip, talking shit, swallowing spit, 'cause
There we go. And we are up. We are live. This is the New to Mayor Show with JB Frank. As you can see, there are only two of us. It is me, JB Frank, your nerd with attitude, your gangster geek, alongside my lovely co-host Melanie Dion,
aka So Mellow, also known as Harriet Thugman, in the building.
Once again, New to Mayor Show with JB Frank and So Mellow. The revolution will be televised. Indeed, indeed. We got a lot to talk about tonight. First off, you know, our lead host, New to Mayor, he's out of town this week, living it up. He's actually with our friend Vincent Harris, who is actually premiering his indie film in New Orleans this weekend.
What up, boys?
Yeah, man. So check out Vincent Langston Harris's Facebook page to get more info on the film. Check out New to Mayor's Facebook page to see what's popping in the Big Easy right now. Also, you gotta buy into their campaign, because what they're doing is throughout the film, they've actually created these throwback jerseys. And Mel, they're really, really cool because they say like the name of one of the black innocent men who was killed on the back, and then they have the age as the number.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And sad and dope at the same time.
It's horrible, but the wonderful thing is all of the proceeds from the jersey sales are being donated to foundations to help the families of the people who were slain, and they are worn throughout the film. And they're kind of like high fashion. Like, they look like slick throwbacks, too. Like, the Trayvon Martin ones got, like, the number 17 in white on, like, a dark blue background, like the red, white, and blue colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're all really, really slick. So make sure you check out Vincent Langston Harris's Facebook page, his Twitter account, New the Mayor's Facebook page to see what's popping with that film and what's going on in New Orleans. Are you ready, Mel?
I'm ready.
Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. In our...
What the fuck?
Mel, you got to break
Story
this
of the
one
day.
down, because, wow.
Our what the fuck story of the day
Yeah.
starts off with a 911 operator who has been hanging up on callers. Her name is Crenshonda Williams. She's a 911 operator out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, okay, her name is...
Crenshonda.
So... Okay, y'all have to read the name, but I'm sorry to her parents, but she was named after Crenshaw. Like Crenshaw,
It's pretty bad. I mean, I know.
Despite the fact that she lives in Texas, but anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So she has been hanging up on 911 callers. And when they started to investigate her, they found out that she'd had an excessive amount of short 911 calls that were lasting like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Can you imagine that, Mel? Like,
She actually told somebody, ain't nobody got time for this, for real, and hung up on them. Like, really? Really, bro? Like, you really don't like your job. You just, this is 911. You need to find something else to do. You need to find a new career, because you ain't helping nobody. Okay?
So she was eventually arrested and brought up on charges. Thank goodness, because they say they have trouble actually counting how many people, you know, who were in need, who she might have just chucked the deuces on. That's wow.
She's officially been charged with interference of emergency telephone calls.
But I mean, it could get worse if some of those things had really, really negative outcomes given the position that she was in.
I don't understand. How do you, as a 911 operator, you hang up on people? Like, that don't make no sense.
Nah, that's somebody who's really, 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 really hating their job. And speaking of folks who are probably hating their jobs right now, Mel, I think we got to get into it. We got to talk about these ladies, the leading ladies for the Birth of the Nation film. Again, we talked about it some last week, but they've kind of been speaking out and talking about what's going on with the film. First we have to say that the film hasn't done well. It hasn't done well at all.
Did about $7 million in sales the first weekend.
Which, I mean, is awful. Like, they probably spent twice that much making the film.
Yes, and then Fox gave him a deal of what, like $20 million. They sold it to. Well, he sold it to them for like $20 million or something like that. So I mean, it definitely hasn't done well. And somebody on my timeline yesterday tried to make the comparison that 12 Years a Slave did less than that their first week. Now the comparison isn't fair because it's not apples to apples because 12 Years a Slave was only open in 19 theaters its first week out. And it did a little under $1 million in sales versus Birth of a Nation was out in over 2,000 theaters. So
huge national release.
Yes. So the issue, it wasn't limited release, even though there are definitely areas in this country that did not see this movie.
Absolutely.
We had that conversation yesterday on my timeline. A friend of mine lives in Minot, North Dakota, and they would have to drive 200 miles in order to see this movie.
Is this a black friend or a white friend?
A black friend.
Okay, is she like the only person in her city?
Now, see, I don't know, because I don't know the demographics of North Dakota. When I hear North Dakota, it sounds like one of those really white states like Montana. So there's not like a whole lot of black people, but there probably is like there's black people everywhere. We'd be surprised when we go to like Oklahoma and find black people there, but there are black people everywhere. Not to say that there's like a whole bunch of them, but we are there. Yeah,
I mean, there's a difference between being there, meaning like you see like 2 or 3 people in one place, and being there like there's an actual vibrant community there. And I'll tell you why. This is not a defense. This is just a fact. I remember living in Beverly, Massachusetts. This was this little community just outside of Massachusetts. And I saw what I thought were quite a few black people tromping around Beverly, Massachusetts. I went and looked up the numbers. Beverly, Massachusetts was 97.5% white.
And I can totally believe that being the makeup of North Dakota. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I mean, so when you're talking about a place that is not very densely populated to begin with, to bring the numbers down to that,
But that speaks to an even bigger picture there that white people didn't go see this movie. It wasn't just us. It wasn't just black people that didn't go see this movie. It wasn't just black women who caused such a ruckus and spread false information that, they misinformed all these people who decided not to go see this movie. That's like so narrow of a focus.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm sorry, y'all. It just takes more than that for a movie to fail as crazily as this did.
White people did not go see this movie.
I'm gonna keep it absolutely 100 with y'all. I'm gonna keep it absolutely real with y'all. Black people did not make Straight Outta Compton the biographical film hit that it was. Black people didn't do that. Black people don't have the buying power to do that, y'all. I'm sorry. If every black man, woman, and child in the United States went and saw Straight Outta Compton, it still wouldn't have grossed as much as it did. Because at that point, it would have only grossed about $350 million. And it did over $150 million in like its first 4 weeks. White people fuel this economy more than we do, people. Let's remember that when we think about protesting. And let's remember that when we think about issues like Birth of a Nation. We do have to say, though, we do have to admit now that the controversy around Nate Parker seemed to crop up at the perfect perfect
Of course it
moment
did.
to
Right.
kibosh the film.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, because here's the thing.
right on time.
This is a new story. This story has been
Thank you.
out there. There have
Thank
been
you.
articles out there since
Thank you.
2007 at
Mhm.
least that I've seen,
Mhm.
you know, talking about this. So it wasn't a new thing.
Mhm.
But given the issues surrounding the movie,
Mhm.
they're going to make it a bigger issue.
There
You know,
it is.
they wanted to paint this story of this violent, you know, this black man who raped this white girl, and I have my issues with the case, but I'm not going to get back into that. But, you know, that's the story behind it. They wanted to paint this negative image of him and have everybody focused on that because they don't want you to really focus on the bigger issue of
Right.
Nat Turner.
Right.
Because the story of Nat Turner is way bigger than Nate Parker.
Thank you, and I think it was important that you know, the leading ladies for the film spoke out and said what they said, albeit it might have been a little too late to really impact, you know, box office sales or whatever. But they pretty much echoed the comments that we were making on the show, Mel. Like, I'm looking at this nigga sideways for real. Like, he's on trial for rape. Come on. But this is bigger than him.
Mhm.
This issue is bigger than him.
It's way bigger.
Yes, like, we are going to do this film, but there is no friggin' way in hell I'm going to have a drink with this nigga.
Mhm.
You know? And I get that. And I think that the confluence of his rape issue with the incendiary nature of the film, like, it was just a perfect storm
Perfect
for failure.
storm.
Perfect brew for failure. Horrible stuff. You know, it kind of, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but it felt like a media conspiracy.
Oh, definitely.
It felt like a media conspiracy. It felt like, you know, Nate Parker's film kind of got put through this white supremacist societal grinder.
Because
you
that's
know.
what the media likes to do. They like to portray black men as these crazy, savage creatures who like to rape white women when we know statistically that is not the case. We know
Yeah.
they rape black women way more than black men rape white women.
And thanks to our up and coming topic, a wonderful Netflix documentary called 13th, you will understand why that is the case. We will break all of that down in our next segment because they broke it down in the documentary. And we want y'all to understand that, know that, and feel that, and be able to appreciate that. We're going to break into this video right quick. Come back to us in a few minutes. We love y'all. Facebook people, don't go away. It's the New Berry Show with JB Frank and our lovely So Mel. We'll be back in a few, y'all.
With JB Frank and your girl So
Indeed. Yeah, I got a comment on my man Brandon Candidate. Yeah, so, you know, forget all the political stuff we've been talking about, the social injustice, the revolution. It's all about the baby making music. He commented, nice baby making music during the interlude. Hey, I ain't mad.
we gotta bring it back to something.
Oh, man, yeah, we need some joy.
It's so hard.
Some joy.
It sounds all wrong. But you know what I mean.
Something, man. It's been crazy out here. Speaking of crazy, you know, we talked before the break about this documentary on Netflix called 13th. Yeah, now breaking this down briefly, Mel, because I definitely want to get your insights on what you saw. The film made a direct corollary between one of the loopholes that is in the 13th Amendment and this cohesive strategy that has been undertaken by the white supremacy in the United States, whereby rather than oppressing us through direct slavery, they just utilized incarceration. And it progressively has gotten, ironically, worse over the years.
Yes.
Over the years, and you see these numbers, and it's just like, holy shit!
Yes.
Like, they show the numbers increase over the year, and it's like, oh my god! And it speaks to so many black social issues, black economic issues, but the direct correlation that I want people to understand is they made it clear that this wasn't blind conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah.
They made it clear that this wasn't like, a revolutionary over here to the side, Tariq Mustafa talking his shit, smoking weed in the corner. No, these were facts. And they had white people come on the documentary and corroborate these facts, Mel. What were your thoughts?
Okay, so to be clear, the 13th Amendment says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, and this is the real tricky part that comes up, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So that right there is the clause that allows slavery to be enforced through punishment, through our criminal justice system.
Right.
So what we had happen after slavery was abolished in 1865, you had the first real start of mass incarceration, where they started rounding up black men in groups and started putting them to work, because with the abolishment of slavery, that totally crippled the Southern economy.
Right.
So they had to find some way to get that labor popping back going again, and so with this amendment to this 13th with this exclusion, in the 13th Amendment, that allowed for them to have this new form, free labor, of slavery as a form of punishment. So, yeah. And I just wanted to point out, the very first thing that you hear when the movie starts is President Obama saying how the United States is 5% of the world's population, but yet we have 25% of the world's prisoners. 25% of the world's prisoners. 1 in 4 criminals in the world is locked up here in the United States.
Here's the scary part. 46% of the prisoners in the United States are of minority descent, black or Latino. Now here's the even scarier part. About 35% of those are black, and black people make roughly 9.9% of the total U.S. population. That means, statistically speaking, a black person is exponentially more likely to not be arrested, not be pulled over, not be stopped, not go to court, not go to trial, but be convicted, guilty, and incarcerated. Like, we got to talk about the whole process here, Mel, because one of the things that the film breaks down is how the legal process breaks down for black people, right? You think about what you see on Law and Order and what you see in these beautiful OJ trials and the courtroom and the judge, and you can't handle the truth. None of that shit happens with black people.
No.
They say that 95% of black people don't even see a day in court.
They take the plea.
It's all about a plea bargain. This is another thing they break down.
Never get our day in court.
This is another thing they break down. I'm not going to break down the progression over years in terms of how black people have been increasingly in prison. Let's just put it this way. over the last 5 years, the number has increased fourfold. Okay, so I want y'all to understand that. Like, that's damn near increasing by a whole 100% every year over the last 5 years.
The prison population in 1972 was over 300,000, and we currently have 2.3 million people in prison right now.
This is the real scary part, Mel. You know, in what was it, 1985 or 1990, the population was somewhere around 500. Oh no,
in 85 it was 759,000.
Right.
In 1990 it was to 1.1. Yes.
And now in 2016 it is over
2.3.
Yes. Yes. So it's just a phenomenal increase in numbers, and it's terrifying. And the film breaks down so much and how much this has impacted, you know, the consciousness and the concept of what black people, in particular black men, are in the United States. And the reason why we felt like this was such a great film and a great topic to discuss right after Birth of a Nation is because they talked about another film called Birth of a Nation in that documentary. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but there's a reason why Nate Parker named his film Birth of a Nation. There was another film that was released in the 20s called Birth of a Nation.
1915.
It was 1915? I thought it was 1925. 1915.
By D.W. Griffith.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to Howard University School of Communications. Thank you.
So that means if Woodrow Wilson, God, that film was popular for like 7 years. Anyway.
Forever. It was very widely received, you know, praised at that time for not only like the story, but its its production aspect, because that's why we studied it.
This is what scared me though, Mel. So 1915 meant that Woodrow Wilson was the president when that film came out. In 13th, they talked about FDR having private screenings.
No, they said Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, it was what? Okay.
They said Woodrow Wilson.
I was like, oh no! That means that film was running for like 20 years. Oh no!
He had private screenings at the White House. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the. Thank you for correcting me. I was like, oh no, that's terrible. But what was terrible was the impact of the film on the country. The Klan, which was a dying organization before this film came out, was completely lionized in the film. In fact, most of the multimedia stuff you see about the film now shows Klan people dressed in their full regalia and, you know, some white man in blackface being torn apart or whatever. The horrible thing about the film is that it readjusted America's consciousness about black people entirely across the board. You know, it was one of the first major motion pictures released in the U.S., huge production at the time, and it just denigrated black people, in particular black men, to the umpteenth degree. And the reason why Nate Parker picked Birth of a Nation as a title is because of what they actually did to Nat Turner after he rebelled and after he was caught. They painted him in the same light that they painted black people in Birth of a Nation. You see what I'm saying? No, he tried to draw that. He tried to draw that linkage for y'all. We're just giving y'all a little pointer here, make it a little closer for you. But that's why it's called Birth of a Nation. That was broken down in 13th, which is a documentary that is on Netflix now. Mel, they break down a bunch of other facts too.
The movie Birth of a Nation, the original one by D.W. Griffith, was definitely responsible for the revival of the Klan, like the second revival of the Klan. So this is the Klan that you see in their white hoods, burning crosses, because they did they adapted that? They got that from the movie. That
Exactly.
was not something that the Klan did.
Exactly.
Prior to
burning crosses as well. They got from the film, which is crazy. I mean, you talk about like a national, quote, national political organization as they call it, and they got most of their ridiculous
ideas from a movie, like imitating art.
But think about if that happened today though, Mel. Like, think about if Black Lives Matter stood up and said, "Yeah, we got this signage and this everything from Boys in the Hood." You know, like, how ridiculous.
Yeah.
How stupid does that sound? Number one, and number two, the film had such a pervasive impact on like culture in the North, which was really terrifying. It anyway. I don't want to talk about that damn film anymore, Mel. Like it's
You need to see it.
Yeah,
Point
yeah.
blank period.
Yeah. Well, you need to see 13th. I don't know that you need to see the original Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You need to see 13 because they go really into detail about everything.
And yeah, I mean, and I guess one of the, let me say this. The biggest thing that struck me, Mel, was seeing like people like Newt Gingrich get up and say,
Newt Gingrich has been slowly waking up recently, though.
I'm like,
he made some comments like a couple months ago, like,
I was like,
you know, we really need to address this issue with police brutality and stuff. Like, Newt Gingrich is slowly coming to the party. He's not invited to the cookout yet, you know, but he's slowly waking his ass up.
I mean, he's not only showing up, but he's bringing a bottle of wine now.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's standing next to like Angela Davis and like
yes.
Come on, yeah. So Angela Davis. I mean
Davis. Having her in there alone.
Yeah, that was enough. Like I was like, holy shit, that's Angela Davis.
The real Angela
Davis. Assata Shakur, phenomenal film. Can't say enough
shout out
about
to Michelle Alexander. You know, if you haven't read her book, The New Jim Crow, you definitely need to check that out. I started reading it and unfortunately left the book in Hawaii, so I need to pick up a new copy. You know, it's a great book. I would definitely recommend that you read it.
I mean, the long and short of it is the film draws a bunch of direct correlations that we as a people have sort of slowly and methodically kind of hinted at. You know, we talked about it in barbershops and, oh yeah, you know, how white people be doing this and white people be doing that and yada, yada, yada. Nah, it's a fact now. Like, it's all, they broke it all down. It's all there. You know, it's no question about it. And, you know, gotta love it. Oh yeah, here we go. Buddy Lee says Hidden Colors is another good film.
Yes.
Yeah, Hidden Colors.
Check out all 4 of those.
Yeah, 1 through 4, fantastic.
And don't
point.
download it and do bootleg. Go buy. I mean, I know it's expensive to buy the whole thing, the whole set. Support black businesses and films and stuff without asking for a discount.
Yeah, I mean that's a fabulous film as well. All 4 of them. Very informative. We are the Black CNN. We are New Mayor Show with JB Frank and Melanie Dion. Let's get into some world news to try and, I don't know, just break it up a little bit. This isn't good again.
So basically, now I dropped this story thinking we were going to talk about Syria and totally, you know, flubbed it and realized, oh wait, this is Yemen. This is Yemen, a totally separate issue that I didn't realize. So can you break that down for what's going on?
Right, because we were like, okay, what are we going to talk about this week? What, you know, we brought us some topics, and then we added some other topics, and then Mel brought up Yemen, and I was like, yes. Finally, somebody wants to talk about Yemen. Yeah, this shit is crazy. Oh my God. And she walks in, we're prepping for the show, and she's like, yeah, so I read up on Yemen and didn't realize that Yemen was Yemen. And I was like, oh, Yemen. Oh. So, guys, Yemen is today's Iraq. Yemen is today's Vietnam, and it is happening right now in a small state in Arabia called Yemen, which exists just south of Saudi Arabia, and it also shares a border with Syria. Yemen has been in political turmoil now for a couple of decades, ever since the destabilization of the Iraqi government, ironically. Wonder who did that. But at any rate, the terrorist group Hamas, those of you who know of Hamas, they're the ones fucking up Syria right now. They're the ones in Syria firing missiles over into Israel and Libya and other places, doing all kinds of horrible things. Anyway, Hamas first had a foothold in Yemen. Hamas organizations were able to infiltrate Syria through the Yemeni-Syria border. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew this. Everybody understood that. What are we going to do about Yemen? Yemen. Oh my God, but Syria. Well, Saudi Arabia said, you know what? Don't worry about Yemen. We got Yemen. And they proceeded to start this war in Yemen. Basically, they have been providing advice and weapons and personnel and firing missiles over into Yemen because these Hamasi leaders actually were able to take over significant parts of territory in Yemen and significant aspects of the government. So Saudi Arabia is supposedly fighting on behalf of the Yemeni people. But there's a war going on in Yemen, no question. Now, here's the fun part, man. Mm-hmm. The United States has been selling weapons to Saudi Arabia for the past 2 years to the tune of $1.15 billion a year in weapons.
Wait. So, for those of y'all who forgot, remember a couple of weeks ago?
This is why I wanted to talk about Yemen.
When Congress overrode that veto from President Obama about, the 9/11 families being able to sue Saudi Arabia, okay, for any involvement that they may have had with 9/11. Remember, they just passed that. So you mean to tell me that we've been selling weapons to Saudi Arabia all this time, the last 2 years? I mean, and that's huge. That's a large part of why they were making their threats about pulling out their assets and stuff like that.
So y'all starting to make the connection. You're starting to see the dots connect there. We do some stupid shit in our government.
We've been doing this shit.
Well, having done stupid shit in the Middle East to start this whole problem to begin with, we get crazy in our government and decide we're just going to fuck with one of our biggest friends.
Yes.
Now, I have no love for the Saudis at all. I'm not waving a Saudi flag at all.
This is the dumbest.
But we can't, if even a nigga you don't like, if y'all's money is tied up, you don't really fuck with them because you got skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? It was a mistake. You shouldn't have got into business with him, but you did it. The last thing you want, because you know he's shady. The last thing you want to do is swing first, right? Right now?
Right.
So we swing first. We enact this idiotic law. Yeah, you fellas, right, buddy? This is crazy, right? Crazy. You enact this ridiculous law saying that victims of 9/11 can just randomly sue Saudis. Just the hell with it. Let's just find some Saudis and bring them to court. And the Saudis say, okay, well,
you can do that if you want to.
Yeah, but remember that big percentage of that deficit that we take a chunk out of every year without investments?
Money?
Nah, dead that. You're no longer our bitch. You're cut off, bitch. And we came running to Saudi Arabia. Oh please, put boots on the ground, Mel. Firing rockets into Yemen
This is just the dumbest.
on Saudi Arabia's behalf.
The dumbest.
These are the things that are going on in the world that are directly tied to what's going on here in the U.S. And here is the horrible part to all of this news. And this is why we are the Black CNN. You aren't hearing about any of this shit during the presidential debates, are you guys? You're not hearing a word about, you're not even hearing about Syria in the presidential
Because
debates.
you know who has time to talk about issues when you're so busy attacking and making up false claims about your opponent. You know, you're too busy deflecting. You don't have time to really focus on the real issues.
Right.
We're talking about you grabbing women by the pussy.
Oh no. Oh God, here we go. Well, now you brought it up. We might as well get into it. Your boy Donald Trump, and I guess Hillary was involved in this debacle too. What I'm talking about is that second presidential debate.
The shit show. Can it get any more ridiculous? Can it?
Break it down now. Break it down.
I'm just tired of it. Like, we don't get to discuss anything. Like, you ask Donald Trump a question and he does not answer it. Like, they have to bring him back in. Like, yo, Mr. Trump, that was not the question. Like, bruh. Yeah, and then the thing is, shout out to Saturday Night Live because your presidential debate coverage and stuff has been spot on. I mean, Alec Baldwin is killing the game right now with his Trump impersonation.
Oh my God!
Like, he's got the hands going, the perfect toupee. I mean, it's spot on. It's ridiculous. It's uncanny.
And it really is like a sideshow. Like it's this ridiculous like weird kind of parody. Like you got this little shriveled up old woman like stepping in front of this big scary white man, and he's like pacing around behind her and shit. They call what do they call it? Looming. Like the dude is like so keep talking, Mom.
Yeah,
so dude is like doing
like
this,
a
y'all.
bird move,
Like doing this type of shit.
Totally creeping up on Hillary, and because that's not creepy. Like
while she's talking,
by the pussy. I just want to know because when you're a celebrity, you can do
oh my goodness, just looking like crazy stuff. You're right, buddy. It is like 5-year-olds fighting over candy. Like it's really, really bad.
He's a total creep, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's awful because none of our issues are really being discussed. Even though I have to say, they've been trying to get these candidates to address the black issues, the black issues in particular, head on. We got to give a shout out to the moderators and the debate organizers because the questions have been focused on the relevant social issues of the day. You know what I'm saying? I do respect that. I don't respect these candidates. It's been awful. Well, y'all, I guess the good news going into this break is that Donald Trump wasn't quite stupid enough this week to win the Shut Up Stupid Award.
Yeah.
For once, he did not win the Shut Up Stupid Award. We got another crazy story to bring up coming back. We're going to get into another video right quick, y'all. Play a little music for y'all. Why don't we do a double play this time? We'll do Solange and some stuff.
The scorecard? I'm not
Right
a
after
customer,
this
but I'm calling about
whack-ass
that
commercial
credit
ends.
scorecard.
Yeah, she's sexy
Sure,
as
it's
hell.
free for everyone.
She,
Oh, that's nice.
she be moving it in this video too, young. Oh my goodness.
in her moment.
Yeah, like, y'all watch how she be moving. I love it. She be jamming. into it. Let's
Okay.
get into it. Mel, which one should we do first? Should we do Shut Up Stupid first or Grind and Shine first?
Let's do Shut Up Stupid, because then we can talk about, NFL anyway, because
That'll work. That'll work.
that works.
So, go ahead. Break it down, because we've had some pretty stupid stuff. Well, okay, so we had the 911 caller who was hanging up on people. That was pretty damn stupid.
Mhm.
We had
Donald Trump, the namesake of the Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award.
Yet again, living up to why he earned the award.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Delta Airlines.
And that still wasn't enough. Delta Airlines with the discrimination.
Yeah, because this one, see, and just to give you an idea of how we work on the New to Mayor show with JB Frank and Melanie, we like to point out our own people who fuck up first, because we want to make sure that you are riding the same train that we're riding, which means that if you are causing a ruckus in the camp, we need to point that out immediately. So we are pointing you out this week.
And
LaShawn McCoy.
the whole thing seems shady. Shady McCoy.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking
shady.
We're talking real shady business here. So the Buffalo Bills played the San Francisco 49ers this week. Colin Kaepernick is now the starting quarterback because Blaine Gabbert was Blaine Gabbert.
Terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah, it is what it is.
The 49ers lost.
Yeah, they did lose today.
Terribly.
It's not. I mean, but.
Here nor there.
It's a horrible team, and it has no bearing on this. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is Shady McCoy buying 15 to 20 tickets.
Yes, for police officers to come view this game.
To show his appreciation for their service.
So you just decided, and they tried to be like, oh, well, in his defense, he didn't buy the tickets. He had already had the intentions of doing this before we found out that Colin Kaepernick was going to be starting this week. How long has this plan been in action?
And how long ago did they have the schedule and know that they were playing the 49ers this week?
And here's the thing. You already know that when you break it down, when you think about it, it doesn't even matter because preseason, this whole thing started, even if he had the football schedule months ago. This whole thing started when Colin Kaepernick started his protest during the preseason. So he came up with this during that time. I'm sure he didn't come up with this back in April, May, June, July, prior to this protest even starting. No, this shit was definitely intentional.
And it definitely was a response to the protest.
Yes,
it's absolutely a response.
It's totally shady.
It's like you're walking up to somebody and punching them in the face and being like, oh yeah, my bad, young. I didn't mean, that was an accident. It's like, nigga, like you walked up on me and tried to steal me. How is that unintentional? How is that shit an accident? How do you plan to buy tickets for the 49ers game weeks in advance? And you choose the 49ers game.
The 49ers.
Here's the fun part, Mel. The San Francisco 49ers are not in the Buffalo Bills division. They are not in the AFC North.
Nope.
So it wasn't a critical or an important or even a relatively popular game. Number two, the San Francisco 49ers aren't even in the Buffalo Bills conference. So it had no bearing on it. It was just a game to the Buffalo Bills, except for the fact that Colin Kaepernick was going to be there. Come on, man. Come Come on, man. So Shady McCoy, and we are calling you Shady.
I mean, but that's his nickname.
Yeah, I mean it's really, really
It's
shady.
so fitting today.
Yeah, here we go, Mel. Shady McCoy, you are our Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award winner.
Sit your ass down.
Shut up, stupid. Awful, 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 awful. Moving on, out of the way. Fuck that nigga. That's just so bad, Mello. But it provided a good segue for us. Let's go ahead and talk about the NFL.
This week.
You are doing excellently on fantasy football this week.
I am totally killing the game right now.
I was expected to win by double digits in both of my leagues, and now I am losing by over 20 points in both of my leagues. Let me just put it to you this way. Ben Roethlisberger got hurt. Aaron Rodgers laid an egg today, and the Patriots barely scored any points.
Well, Tom Brady did manage to get at least 17 fantasy points.
That's 17 fantasy points for a guy who averages like 30, though, Mel.
I mean, he didn't have the Drew Brees type of week.
Right, look at her flossing. Look at her flossing. Go ahead,
shout out to Drew Brees.
Go ahead, pop your collar. Go ahead.
So my fantasy team, right, has just kicked ass. In both leagues, I had Drew Brees starting. In my brother-in-law's league, my brother-in-law was actually scheduled to beat me by like 20 points, and I came back and I'm whooping his ass. Love you, Walter. And then in News League, I was actually it was supposed to be real close between me and Shan, who is Big Buddy Nutcrackers. And Shan, I had to put them paws on you.
No!
I love you.
Oh no! You hear?
You know,
She's
I'm
talking
whooping
shit.
that ass.
She talking shit
I'm
now.
busting that ass.
She's talking shit.
You know, I mean, I had Shady McCoy on that team.
Oh God!
Drew
He picked
Brees
up
on that
like
team.
25 points this week.
He picked up like 32 points.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
He had a
And in my other league, I got Julio Jones. Like I just showed up. Like I wasn't even tripping this week. I was looking at my league, and I saw I was down in one. I was supposed to lose in one and win in the other, or maybe win in the other. And I wasn't even tripping because I know I have weapons on my team. I have weapons of mass destruction.
Anyway, y'all, yeah. So the reason why people like So Mellow are doing so well is because people like me, who were near the top of all of those leagues, had such a horrible day today. Again, just to give you an idea, y'all. So Ben Roethlisberger today got me 11 points. And
He got you that many?
11.
At least he got you that many.
Yeah, well, this is in the other league with the high scoring.
Okay.
But my man who I was playing against had Drew Brees.
Oh, he got him damn near 60 points in that league.
Yeah, right. How am I supposed to withstand that?
You
right.
can't.
Well, I'm done. Like I've officially lost. Like it's over, and he's not even done playing yet. Like it's
it's not even fair.
Yeah. Oh no, it was bad this week. It was totally upset city this week in the NFL, y'all. A lot of craziness going on.
Shout out to the Redskins for coming through with that big W today.
Thank you.
We got a division win against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Big
we
win.
laid the smack
Big
win. Man, I saw a lot of improvement in our run game this week.
Yes, Hightower did the damn thing. Hightower did the damn thing this week.
Gosh.
No denying that.
Oh man,
No
we were
denying
coming through in the clutch because we didn't have Jordan Reed, so he had, what's his name? Kirk Cousins had to rely on other people to get the job done, and we were converting on third downs. We established some sort of run game this week. I am happy. Our defense looks good. Like the majority of the Philadelphia points were scored on their defense or special teams. So,
and the part that killed me is the special teams mistakes. Actually, that concerned me greatly. We were able to. But then that run back that one time was
Man.
crazy too.
For like 80 something yards.
Yeah, it was just animal crackers. But I mean, just a lot of upsets today.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dolphins beat the shit out of the Steelers. I mean, the Patriots finally got out on the Bengals, but the Chiefs beat the
How the
Raiders.
Falcons do?
Yeah, the Falcons lost today.
Mm.
The Cowboys won today. The Cowboys beat up on the Packers. I was not wanting that to happen. The Saints beat. Well, they didn't really beat up on the Panthers.
And they were initially beating the snot out of Carolina.
Yeah, they
initially.
were. They was beating them like they stole something, and
Yeah,
then
they
they came
were.
back. They came back. Well, both of those teams are a bunch of crap anyway. They're not really going anywhere.
Nothing this year.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all. The Titans beat the Browns by 2 points. Who cares? The Chargers beat the Broncos this week. That's what I'm talking about. Upset City. Like,
Yeah.
upset City. Saints, so that's not really up. The Jaguars beat the Bears.
I'm
Ooh.
just glad we beat Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we beat Philly too, but I know a lot of people did crappily on fantasy football this week with these scores. That was nasty.
With us
Nasty.
beating Philly, and people were talking big, giving them all this praise and all this other stuff, and the Redskins
That's
look
very
good, and we look like we arrived to the party this week. So now it leaves us with Philly, and we say what now, which just so happens to be the title of Kevin Hart's new movie.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
Look at her with her segues, y'all. So mellow. Bringing in, let's bring in what happens next. Let's bring in what happens. What's coming next? What's coming next on the show with our Netflix and chill segment? You're right. Kevin Hart has his new. It's out now. It's out now, right? Have you seen it yet, Mel?
I have not.
Yeah, I want to get into theaters and see it. Yeah, I mean,
It's Kevin Hart. He's funny.
yeah, I might prepare and maybe go and conflict tonight.
Yeah.
I hate doing nothing else but getting on a plane first thing in the morning. So I might just go out and see that jump tonight because it does look funny. It's got Halle Berry in it. Who knows what's gonna happen?
I mean, it's Kevin Hart. I mean, the nigga is funny. He's on fire. He's he's getting the check.
Yeah, he was our annual Grind and Shine Award winner last year,
and he's
Mel.
still grinding and shining.
We got a Grind and Shine Award coming for you now, and it's one that we missed last week because we got so hot and heavy into the topics, Mel, but we definitely wanted to bring it up this week. Jay-Z is our Grind and Shine Award winner for his film and TV deal with Weinstein Pictures. Now, this is a huge moneymaker for him. And hopefully it's a moneymaker for Weinstein as well.
I hope so too.
Mm-hmm. Now, Weinstein is a film company. They've done a lot of partnership work with Jay-Z in the past on other little things. I think they were actually a part of the Beyonce release on HBO as well. But Weinstein has broken some of those big controversial films, for example, Django and The Hateful Eight, some of the other things.
Which is actually a really good movie. If you haven't seen Hateful Eight, you should. No, I'm sorry, not Hateful Eight. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of The Magnificent Seven. Totally different movie.
Yeah, Magnificent Seven is a
totally different movie.
Yeah,
way wrong, but that's a good movie.
Yeah. Magnificent Seven is a great movie. The Hateful Eight is. I brought it up before because we were talking about like black people killing white people, but the nigga in that movie, I'm calling him a nigga because he was a nigga. Like, did you know the scene?
I haven't seen it yet. Hateful Eight.
Okay.
I wanted to see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
There is one scene in that movie that I think every black person needs to see, because I think if they see that scene, they will understand the irrational fear that white people have of the black man. That's all I'm gonna say. It's literally all fears come to
Red light
light.
right there.
In that one monologue that he delivered. Can I give you a little taste?
Yes,
Just a little
please do.
piece. So Samuel L. Jackson walks in with these compatriots into this saloon, this bar, whatever, speakeasy. And there's a Confederate general, an old general, sitting in a chair, just an easy chair inside the bar. He walks up to him. Aren't you General so-and-so? Oh, yeah. He tells him his name and they, correlate, whatever. He says, you had a boy come around these parts a few months ago, didn't you? He said, yeah, that's why I'm up here looking for him. And then Samuel Jackson told this white man what he did to his son. Because his son actually came looking to kill Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So Samuel Jackson got the drop on him. He made the white boy strip down naked. Now they're in North Dakota in the winter. He made him walk for 2 miles in the snow. Samuel Jackson had a coat on his arm. He waited until the white dude's feet turned black and the white dude begged for a coat. And in order for Samuel to give him that coat, he took out his dick and made him suck it in the middle of the snow. And he's telling this story to a white Confederate general. Tell him just like I'm telling you right now. It's amazing what somebody would do when they can.
Y'all hear this shit?
I was like, oh my God, Samuel Jackson, don't do it.
Y'all hear this shit?
Don't say. I'm looking, like, it was so bad. I'm looking at the white people around the theater like young, like.
You felt uncomfortable at that moment.
Yeah, I'm like young, like.
Oh my God.
And they show the scene,
God.
like the white boy's head going back and forth, like everything.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, so Jay-Z and Einstein.
This is the kind of stuff they do. They make Tarantino films. They're all about making political
Wow.
statements.
Well, let's just say one of the stories that they're already in works, producing right now is the Khalif Browder story.
Nice.
Which, for
nice.
those of you who don't know, he is a 16-year-old boy who was arrested in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He did 3 years at Rikers Island,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of those years were spent in solitary confinement.
Totally innocent.
Totally innocent.
Totally innocent.
And 2 years after he was released, he ended up committing suicide. I mean, the boy went through hell while he was in prison. They actually talk about this in 13th. So you definitely need to.
He went to prison as a child, basically.
A child.
And it was one of them like stop and frisk type of
Sent him there for stealing a backpack.
Like
3 years
bullshit.
there at Rikers
situation.
Island. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, and he again stood up like a man and was like, I'm gonna take this to trial.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're tripping. Like I totally respect him for doing that, and you gotta respect Jay-Z and Weinstein Pictures for wanting to tell the story. So Jay-Z, you get our Grind and Shine award this week, brother. Excellent job, man. Excellent job. Man, so mellow. We done about covered it all. Is there anything else you got?
There are 2 little things that I want to touch on real quick.
Go right
I wanted
ahead.
to talk about the First Lady and her very passionate speech that she gave at that university that I cannot think of right now. But I just wanted to say that Michelle Obama is the embodiment of beauty. She is beauty personified. Like, she's everything. Like, she's an awesome woman. She's an awesome mom. Even though she's not running for president, people are like pleading for her to run, and I just want to say that I just love having her as a role model, as someone to look up to, especially as a black woman. It's great to have people like her to look up to. So if you missed her speech, I definitely implore you to go look at it, check it out, listen to it. She spoke very passionately about this election and some of the deplorable things that Donald Trump has been saying about women, and just what type of leadership do we really want this country to have? What kind of message, what kind of image are we showing to our children? So I wanted to touch on that, and I also wanted to talk about Hurricane Matthew and the relief efforts being done by two of our very own Redskins players, Pierre Garcon and Ricky Francois. I want to say that's his name.
Yep.
They just recently sent medical supplies down to Haiti.
Awesome.
And I think that's huge. Both of them are of Haitian descent. And I want to encourage everybody to, if you can, make some sort of donation to Haiti, but do not do it through the American Red Cross because they did not, right. We know what they did after the earthquake. They didn't help Haiti for shit. So don't do it through the American Red Cross. Do your research, find some other fundraiser, some other nonprofit or whatever to donate money to, or if you can, just ship some shit directly down there. But don't do it through the American Red Cross. So those are just two things I wanted to talk about. Our awesome First Lady and relief efforts to Haiti. We definitely got to look out for our people.
Very fine thoughts. Both of those very fine thoughts. My final thought, I wanted to just share a little factoid with y'all. We talked a lot about the Klan and what happened in the early 20s and all of that kind of stuff. Did y'all know that Superman helped fight the Klan in the 50s? Did you know that?
No.
So, just a brief little history tidbit. I am the gangster geek. I am the nerd with attitude. So I gotta drop some of these little factoids on y'all sometimes. Anyway, so Superman was created by two poor Jews, Jerry Siegel, and I forgot the other guy's name just at this precise moment. I had it and I lost it. Anyway, they created Superman. Now, being where they were from and what they dealt with growing up, they wanted to create a hero who fought political, social injustice. So during World War II, Superman fought Hitler, beat Hitler's ass all over the place. After World War II, who was Superman's next enemy? The Ku Klux Klan. They did an active radio campaign. They made short films with Superman fighting the Klan. And one of the things that Jerry Siegel did was he had a guy who actually infiltrated the Klan as a prospect.
He sure did.
And was sending telegrams and notes about the crazy shit in their organization.
Yes, and then they would do it in the shows.
Yes. They would do it. They would dime all of that. The Klan's enrollment numbers dropped by 40% after Superman took on the Klan because these dads had to explain all of these ridiculous things that the organization did to their young boys. Their young boys weren't wanting to follow in their father's footsteps anymore. And we're talking about the baby boomer era now. Huge drop off. Wanted to drop that on y'all. Go look it up if you think I'm lying to you, but you might feel a little better about wearing that Superman cartoon t-shirt from now on.
Wear that S on your chest.
There we go. Be Superman. We are the New the Mayor Show with JB Frank and
Hey girl, so mellow.
I am JB Frank. I am the nerd with attitude, the gangster geek.
And I am Harriet Thugman, freeing your minds from them chains.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to New the Mayor, Vincent Harris, Eric Clay. I hope y'all are having fun at that movie, y'all. Good night and God bless.
What up, Warren?